live stream along with our audio cast. So just trying to get that set up on our server. As I mentioned, that you can always go over to our to the page that I listed on the show description, and then that will connect you with a live. Why this? That's odd. Okay, a live stream of our show. So let me go ahead and just pull that up real quick, just to make sure that's all good and running. Savannah, do you have anybody that has? How have you been? I haven't heard from you in a while. How was your holiday? Savannah disappeared. Okay, great. So anyway, a quick note for everybody, real quick here on the air, while I'm still kind of in the process of getting things set up. Kate will no longer be joining us here on the program. She discontinued her part on the show due to some personal issues. Don't know what was going on there, so it'll just be me now. And like I mentioned, there is a live cast version or a live cast aspect to our show as well. So we are changing the format, or I'm changing the format in this season of the show. We're going to be doing some different things going forward. And so first of all, we're no longer going to be doing pre-registrations for readings. It's just going to be, a random queue, random drawing at luck of the draw, whoever gets picked. You can always tip me $5 to cut to the front of the line. Go over to streamlabs.com / Ernesto. So we are changing the format. That'll get you all hooked up over there. Great. So our live cast is streaming now, so that is perfect. So I just want to make sure about that. So a couple of things I wanted to talk about here while I have everybody here on the line before we get off too far is let's take a look kind of at what's happening out in the world right now. I think I just got a message from Savannah, so I just got to make sure that she's not. Oh, great. Oh, she has no. Oh, that's lovely. Great. No audio. Perfect. Oh, that's really nice. Okay. Where is this? Great. Like, wow. All right. Now. No, make that go away. Oh, there it is. Hello, can you hear me, Savannah? Can you hear me now? Hello? Okay, great. So I just want to make sure about that. So you couldn't hear me before? Okay, all right. That's weird. I just have to double check on our live stream to make sure everything's up and running and still going. There it is. That I didn't kill the sound over there. Hello, can you hear me, Savannah? Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, so we're good to go now. So sorry, got that all fixed here for you. So just to look at this chart, Savannah, by the way, as we were discussing, how have you been? How was your holiday? It was pleasant. It kind of felt like an episode of The Twilight Zone, to be honest. Everybody got along. And that's unusual in my life to have a nice Christmas where, everybody is actually a family and not fighting and, being mean to each other. So it was pleasant. I didn't know if I was being punished or if somebody was going to sweep out the rug from under me. See guys, this is what's so bad is that when you're speed up so much by life that you're almost kind of afraid when things are normal. That's kind of not great. That's unfortunate. But that was my Christmas. It was very pleasant. I'm glad it's over. But it's just another day of the week with a different theme. That's all it really is. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, if we're going to be really honest, Santa Claus doesn't exist. Santa Claus is just like a creation by corporations so that way they can make more money. In my personal opinion, I'm starting to wonder if Santa Claus is an energy pattern, just because, like as I mentioned, I work in a retail call center. So some people, we had issues with shipping carriers, and then they're not going to be receiving their orders until about like the beginning of January, and then they would say, "Well, it was a Christmas present," and I would say, "Well, it could come anytime between now and that date that it's showing." So maybe by the grace and magic of Santa Claus, and it'll show up at your door. And it's funny how many people say, "Wow, I just ordered this yesterday and it showed up," and I say, Santa Claus is very real. And they say, yeah, but then you sent me the wrong item on top of it. So, yeah. Yeah, and then you have to tell them that Santa Claus processes so many orders that we're unable to keep everything straight. So, yeah, it does happen. But great. So I just want to look at a couple more things here on this chart. Looking at this chart here on our live cast for those of you who are over there on our YouTube page. Savannah, are you following our YouTube chat just to make sure that anything's going on over there? Yeah, we have a YouTube stream now. Yeah, so sorry you missed that team meeting, but yeah, we do have a YouTube stream. It's just the channel is just brand new. By the way, for anybody who subscribes to my YouTube channel, and you subscribe to me for some music stuff because you saw me play the piano in the past, and I buried those videos, by the way, because they're so old, and all of a sudden now you're hearing like, oh, turn off your audio on the other device. Great. So, and now all of a sudden you're like seeing a live cast of, free streaming astrology, free live streaming astrology readings. And how did you go from, me playing the piano with one hand to, live streaming astrology? Well, do stay tuned for that. I am working on my music stuff, so that'll begin to get integrated into this channel along with the live shows. So, and if you do subscribe to me for the music, give me a call, to give us a call here on the show. I'd love to give you a free reading if you know your birth time. Um, I do want to get into this chart. So something that was happening over the holidays that I thought was interesting was everybody was, kind of, they had their panties in a bunch over this whole like Jupiter and Saturn thing that happens once every like 800 years. What was it, like a super duper conjunction or something like that, where it was like within 1 minute of orb, like once every 800 years. Yeah, so I don't buy into that for a second, and here's why. Because when you look at what's happening at that particular spot in the zodiac, which would have been a few days ago, let's just look at where it is now. I'll pick this out. So here's Jupiter, the one on the right. Saturn is the one down here on the bottom on those circles. So you can see here that, like it was over here where the Saturn was, but now it's moved all the way over here to the right. So that's not making a whole lot of impact on, people. So when people were just kind of like, oh, all this big stuff is going to happen, it's like, no, it's not. Because unless if that's a very focused axis point in your chart, not a damn thing is going to happen. It never does. But what I will say is this, and we'll begin to I'll integrate this into a lot of our readings tonight in the show, is Jupiter is a planet of money and luck. And, when it's combined with Saturn, which has to do with responsibilities and separations, illnesses to an extent, also when combined with other planets like Mars, Neptune, Hades. When you have the Jupiter Saturn that's put together, that can be changes of residence. So lots of people are moving right now. Lots of people are migrating. A lot of people just because of job situations. A lot of people are moving just because, it's something that, you need to move into something that's more affordable. A lot of people don't really have a choice because millions of families will start living on the streets in the next couple of weeks here. That's kind of what that speaks to. And so if you moved recently, like within the last couple of months, there's a pretty high chance that you could move again within the next year or so. So don't plan on keeping yourself planted at the moment because everything is in such flux. But that Jupiter Saturn, that's really what that's all about, is people changing residences, and people also being separated from luck. So, Saturn separation and Jupiter luck to be separated from luck. Well, what does that mean? Well, that would mean kind of like when you're having that day when everything seems to be going against you and you're just going up, like this really big mountain and it's just really so far uphill you just can't do it and everything you do is wrong. It's kind of one of those sorts of energies. That's what a Jupiter Saturn is, to be separated from luck, where it's like nothing is on your side anymore. It's just everything is a fight. So that's another major theme that's going to be happening out there. And then we have, our traditional stuff. Let me pick a different shape just to be clear for our colorblind folks here. So we have this Neptune, and then we have this Hades. So, that's the deception. And then when you add it with that Kronos over here, because we give a little bit wider 2-degree orb, when you combine these three things together, that's the governmental deception and lies. That's, the markets being destroyed and, wrecked and everything else. And not to mention the fact that the disease, the virus. So that's another big narrative out there. So, and these are all major themes that are happening out in the world to people right now. If we're going to talk about what's happening in the American political scene, I would say, I want to say probably by about like, January 14th, like that second, third week of January, it's going to get really dicey and ugly here in the US. I don't know what's happening specifically, but there's going to be a major shift in power. And I don't mean the inauguration. The inauguration is only one part of it. That's going to just that's really just sort of like a background noise because whatever's happening in the foreground is so much bigger than the inauguration. But that'll come probably in like the next few weeks. So do stay tuned for that. I mean, I do wish Donald Trump the very best of luck in that process because it looks like some not great things could happen. So, let's get off to our free live reading section here. I just want to make sure our show is up one more time. All right, no, so that was not. Sorry, I'm having some issues. Just Christmas present, and I would say that was. Well, it could. Okay, so not what I was expecting either. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get off to our free live readings here. We're gonna, like I said, you can always go over to streamlabs.com/Ernesto A to tip me $5 to cut to the front of the line. Otherwise, we are just kind of doing a random draw for the reading queue. There's not really a pre-register here. So let me get on to our first call of the night, and that's going to be from, let's see, from area code 214. Let's go here. Hi, you're on the Uranus Happen Show. May I have your name and date of birth? You said that was Stephanie? That was 11/10/69. Okay, all right. 11/10/69. All right, and where were you born? At what time? 1:15. All right, great. Are you still in Louisville today? Where are you now? What city in Texas? Okay. All right, no worries. So let me go ahead and pull that up here. Okay. Texas. All right. All right, and just one last piece, and then I'll be with you shortly. Great. Okay. Is this your first time calling into the show? Have I ever read you before? Okay, great. So, perfect. That's all I need to know. So, let me go ahead and take a look here. So, like I always tell people, it does kind of take me a minute or two to process sort of what I'm seeing here on the screen. Now, just so we fill in the space for dead air to avoid all of that. I have a question for everybody who's here on the line tonight, and that I'm going to ask you. So just kind of walk me through some of your local stuff. If I were to go to your local, to your town where you live, and I went to your favorite restaurant, and remember, restaurant is defined by like local stuff, not retail chains like Cheesecake Factory, Olive Garden, that kind of thing, like real food. If we were going to go to your favorite restaurant in the town that you live, what are the three things that you would recommend to me off the menu? What's that? Yeah, I've never heard of that. What is that? Of course, yeah. That's where, if we're talking about Texas, especially. Okay, all right. That sounds good. So, do you have a specific question, or do you just have like a general reading kind of thing? Is that what you want to do tonight? Okay, all right. So let's take a look at this. So if we're taking a look at sort of like where you are in the moment right now. Okay, so this is interesting to me. So first of all, you're a Sun Hades person. Are you disabled, or do you work with disabled people in any way? Okay, so see, that's interesting. We share that in common because this thing that you see down here in the chart where I'm gonna highlight this in a moment. Let me just pull up my magic stuff here. Where did that go? Okay, this one here. Let's do that, and we'll clear that out. Okay, so if we look at like this thing that I'm going to pull up here, and keep in mind if you're watching the live cast that there is a little bit of a delay between that and what we're actually discussing. But if you do, just kind of keep an eye out. This thing that I highlighted the square on, that's a Sun Hades. That's generally like a person who's going to have like some type of like disability issues. I definitely have that in my life. That's a strong marker in a lot of like why I came to the astrology and to work out a lot of my issues. So, one thing that you you and I definitely share in common. I mean, it's going to express itself in very different ways in both of our lives. But one thing that we do share in common is that by working through our karma, meaning our issues, we do set ourselves free. So I mean, that's like that's kind of like a mantra, is like, I can do this. Get it's whatever messed up thing is going on in your life that you're dealing with, whether if that's emotionally or physically, just continue to remain strong and continue to push through that. And we do prevail. It's just an uphill battle to make those things happen. So, taking a look sort of at what's happening with you, are you looking at any type of let me see. Are you looking at getting a job right now? Okay, and is this a work from home? Is this a work from home position? Okay, yeah, because I like this is a lot of what I'm showing in your chart is a lot of what I saw in my chart a couple of years ago when I sought employment successfully, and I've been employed ever since as a disabled person. So it can be done. You just have to have good doctors that know how to fill out forms the way that they need to be filled out. Hello, can you hear me? Did I lose you? Okay, great. So, sorry. So the main thing is that you have to make super sure that um, you just have to make super sure that you have doctors that know how to fill out the forms the way that they need to be filled out, because that's really the magic in all of this is companies is though. I have ADA stuff on my personnel file that is so unbelievable that people with conditions much worse than mine got half the ADA exceptions of what I did because my doctors just knew how to fill out the paperwork right. So that's really about all it takes. And make sure that you review that and go ahead. Go ahead. Uh-huh. Well, by self-employment, is self-employment gainful is the question, or is it just kind of like, is that okay? It, okay, so you want to go back into like real working. Okay. I'd be inclined to think that this may be something that be more towards a corporation or a company. Um, like I feel like that would be the direction that you would be going. And to dissect that a little bit further, I would even say that you would be looking at like a company that offers a work from home or a part-time position, in a call center, or like doing data management, entry, something very basic and rudimentary, but it's just that still allows you to color inside the lines of the benefits that you're given for disability. So I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be like, oh my god, I'm making $3,000 a month now. I think that dream is really sort of long and gone. So it's just sort of a matter of making your health work in under the conditions that you're given, and that's really the main thing, is to focus on your health here. That I just want to leave you with this, is that I know you're really gung ho and excited about the work, but the work situation, that's sort of like a crown of thorns in a way, because it's so closely tied to your physical body and your health that if you do anything that teeters off over that edge a little bit with that job, your body's going to pay for it, your mind's going to pay for it, and that's what I just want you to be mindful and careful of, is that that it is a crown of thorns situation. You'll be okay with it. I think you'll figure out the lines that you're allowed to color inside and sort of what you're allowed to do here. And so I would even say that, like, probably within the next couple of months you're going to be getting a new job here. That's coming up soon, so do start doing your research. Like, I think there's what was it? I think it's like disability101.org or something like that, which is basically like a basic disability benefits overview page. Like, hey, I make this much. How many hours am I allowed to work to keep my insurance? Or, if I want to buy a home, or if I want to buy a car, if I want to do all of these issues, it's all out there for you. So I mean that would be my big thing too. But the job is really, I think, the clearest thing is, um, you are going to be coming into a job here, and I think, you're going to have something to do with companies, and if you're not working for a company, then your self employment will be, basically soliciting to corporate partners, if that makes sense to you. Okay, all right. So this is this all making sense to you? This is all kind of in alignment with what you were thinking. Okay, great. Yes. So do you have a specific question for me that I could take a look into real quick? Could, covered everything. Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of like, right. And as a fellow disabled person who's also on the system, I can say this is that it's truly only a matter of time that before the system completely dries up, and it won't even matter because everything will be so unbelievably broke in the world that it's only going to be corporations that are going to have anything. So I mean, if we're gonna talk about strategic planning, I would say something like, yeah, it's like try to figure out how to resolve or fix the situation that you're in, because I also worked with somebody who decided, it's like, what, I'm really sick of this. I'm just going to go out and get a job, not thinking about what was going to happen when you make those choices for yourself. And then it just created a world of hurt, and there were all these back taxes, and she got her insurance yanked, and it was a big nightmare to fix. But and she's still there today, and said, I may have hurt myself, benefits wise, but it's still better than what I was doing before, to just stay at home and do nothing and just feel sorry for myself, because that's essentially what they want you to do. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. So, I would really figure out, like, or even get in touch with Voc Rehab, or like any other ticket to work agency in your locality. They would be able to further assist you with like some job options, or some disability benefit counseling, and sort of how to go about navigate all of these avenues when you don't know what the heck to do. Yeah, for sure. Well, I do have your information here saved into the show. So next time when you give us a call, if you have any questions, then just ask me specifically, or just even write to the show in advance now that I've had your info, and let me know your questions so I could research that a little bit further. Thanks for calling. You take care. I'll talk with you soon. Good night. Okay, Savannah, are you still there with me? Okay. Hey, whatever happened to, what was that guy's name? Not Landon, not Wilson. What was that dude? He had an unusual name. The one that was had the accident. Remember? Yeah, he got hit by a bus. Yeah. Well, he's alive. That's good. Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, he called us, like, I think in the very early days of the show. So let's get off to our next caller here. We're going to get to our next caller here, and that's going to be from area code 856. Hi, you're on the Uranus Happen Show. May I have your name and date of birth? 12/31/74. Okay, and what time were you born? And where were you born? What part of New Jersey? I need a city name. Camden. Okay. And where are you today? What town are you in today? Okay. All right. Let me just pull this up here. Okay, great. Got it. And just one last thing. Perfect. Okay. All right. Now, same question to you. Now, if I were going to go to your town and you were going to take me to your favorite local restaurant, what are the three things that you would recommend off the menu? Okay. So, what restaurant are we talking about? Is this like a seafood house? Thai? Okay, all right. So, do you have a specific question for me? I think I read you in our last season. Okay, let's take a look. Check in, see what's happening there. So, if we look at like that. Okay, yeah. So, um, what does that break down to? Okay, great. There we go. So, I want to say in like probably the next 6 months or so, 8 months, definitely sometime by the summer to fall of 2021, there's going to be some major changes coming your way. So, and those changes, it would seem to me, that's all going to be related to work. I think you're probably going to have um, a job move is what's going to happen here. Like I think you're going to get a new position either with a new company or that or within the same company, but something that involves travel, and that's going to become a theme for you. So there's going to be some moving for you coming down the pike. So I would really hope that you're kind of getting yourself purged and cleaned out of all of the crap in your home, because when that time does come for the move, it's going to be fast and you're not going to have a lot of time to prepare. So whatever things that you absolutely know that these are the things that I cannot live without no matter what, figure out what those items are, because that may be all that you're going to get to take in when this happens. Well, I mean, like if there's keepsakes or mementos. Well, yeah, I know. But yeah, there's, and I want to say that you would probably, you may even be working in the finance field. Do you work in finance currently? Like the accounting. Uh huh. Yeah, because I think you're gonna go back into the finance world. That's gonna be that'll be where the job is gonna come up, and that'll you might even be doing finance for like a prison system or a hospital. That might be an area that you would go into. So, if we're going to be really smart, if we're going to talk about planning things, I would say, start to take some, introductory courses or, just like brush up some knowledge on like billing because, or policies, or if there's any way that you can get like a billing certificate for medical issues under your belt. Cause I think that's an area that you would find some work in. And, when things get really bad and there's no more money, well, hospitals and doctors, they will always have money. That's one thing for sure. So that'll at least be job security for you. Yeah. So that's kind of all I would sort of say about the job is keep your eye out and just start preparing for things and those opportunities will start coming to you. Other thing that I want to tell you is because we're talking about jobs and if we're going to talk about the address the alchemy in your chart, if you want to have a good job and manifest a good positive result, quit brokering and bullshit is what I recommend to you. Like just be honest with yourself and upfront about things and make sure that everything is really clear because the more that you like to try to convince yourself that it's all smoke and mirrors and it's going to be okay, then that's when there's problems. So I mean, it's like let's avoid the smoke and mirrors. Let's do less of that. And then you'll see the clarity for the job that you're gonna need to find. Yeah, so I know my mom and I were talking the other a couple weeks ago. She says, after you me and your dad are gone, it's like what do you really want to keep for like holiday stuff, or do you want to keep any of it? And so that's kind of what we're discussing is like what are the things that I absolutely have to have that I associate with Christmas and what can go. So well, anyway, I do want to thank you for calling into the show tonight, but I will catch up with you soon and we'll chat later. Yep, take care and good night. Yeah, same to you. Bye. Okay, so we are going to take our next caller here. Just a moment. Where are we? Sorry, I'm just getting caught up. I'm confused for a second. All right. Well, this phone switchboard is so confusing for me to try to figure out. With this new random queue system that I decided to do in this season, that's going to make things interesting. Let me just say, because I can't keep anything straight anymore. So let's get off to area code 561. Let's roll the dice. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Hello, are you there? You're on the Uranus Happen Show. May I have your name and date of birth? 12/16/72. Yes, 1972. At what time were you born? 8:30. All right, very good. And where were you born? Like the country, right? Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure because there's a Jamaica in New York, and some people like to just call it that. So I always have to disambiguate. Okay, so let's do that here. It's Jamaica. It's funny. This is the worst atlas in the world on this software, and it's just a trip to try to find anything. Okay, Spanish Town. There's only like 9 towns in Jamaica in this system. Where are you today? In Florida. And what town in Florida are you in? West Palm. All right. West Palm. Great. Perfect. All right. And I read you last time, right? On the last season of our show. Okay. I thought so too. Okay. So now, same question to you. If I was going to go to your local restaurant, um, what are the three things that you would recommend off the menu? What was the last one? Oh, peas and rice. Okay. Yeah. All right. Huh. That's an interesting selection. I would probably go there. That all sounds appetizing, and I'm a very picky eater, by the way, so I would probably try that. So let me take a look. So that's gonna be 24, 27. Okay, there. All right. Stacy, are you on unemployment? You are on unemployment. Okay. And was this recent? Like, I mean, this was like literally within maybe even the last month. Okay, all right. Okay, so the birth time's off by a couple minutes. That's just all I need to know there. Perfect, great. So if you're on unemployment, and is now next question is your inquiry today about a job or when that's going to get better for you? Okay, all right. So the big thing, again, talking about like that whole Jupiter Saturn stuff about change of residence and being separated from luck, that's going to be kind of a big factor here. And wow. Okay, so um, where is that one? There's that. I want to say, and by about like the spring, late spring of 2021, early, let's just say the whole spring season of 2021, the possibility of homelessness becomes very, very real. So this is something that we know that this is a possible outcome for you, and so this is where we do things like use astrology to. What's that? Yes. Like, and remember, it may not be you personally, but that will become a theme in your life at the bare minimum. That, like, if it's not you, it's going to be coworkers or friends or other family members that are losing things and suddenly having to live out of cars, or wherever that may be. I see homelessness as a definite theme or possible outcome for you in the next few months, in the spring months of next year. So yeah, that's a little bit concerning, to be honest. But the good news is, I do think there is a new job down the way also. Okay. All right. Yeah. So then if it's not you, again, that would be someone in your environment, or, someone that that you associate with who is losing things. But that, again, that's going to be a theme for you in your life, or, something that happens to you personally, is that, a change, perhaps not even a loss of home, but just very simply a change of residence. That it's just, I need something that I can afford, or I need something that's not this size because this is not the right size for me, whatever that correct size may be. It's just not this one. So, the change of residence. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. Not to be homeless. Not that. Not that. Change of residence. That's going to be the thing that'll become very real for you in the spring. I was misreading that. So, and the job I want to say is going to be. I think you would be wise to look into temporary jobs right now. I don't think you really quite know what job you would like permanently, because you don't have the life experience that you need to have to be able to fill in that information yet. So I think you would just benefit from doing some temp work, and like an 8 or 6 month assignment, and then it's like maybe something else along the way shows up that you really like and can apply for and get. Then do that. But the thing I would recommend is, yeah, I would go the temp route. That's where you would benefit most from work. That would be the first thing that I would look into. Yeah, and you're gonna yeah, and I want to say that this is obscure and it's gonna sound odd. I don't even know if such a job exists, but to do a temp for something that's not just like entry level, like not to temp for just like McDonald's per se, but to be like the manager, or to be, somebody who's a little bit higher up the chain, or somebody who does like back office in the HR department, like more types of like manager types of roles, or job duties. Those are the positions that you want to look for. I don't know if they exist in Templand. I don't think so. But again, that perfect job is out there for somebody all the time. So yeah, the job I want to say is going to be the big thing, and also it's COVID, right? It's going to be from home. So just give it up of like going in that it's just going to be an online position. What was it called? There was this website that I found recently. I think it was called like, just a moment. Let me find this. This is kind of important. I would like to share this with everybody. I think it was called Skip the Drive. And this is like a jobbing website for companies that are hiring for people to do online work from home positions. Okay, so not that. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull this up. All right, where was that? That's old. Come on. All right, not that one. Let's just do that. Yeah, Skip the Drive. That's what it is. Skipthedrive.com. That's our the website for work from home positions for companies. So just take a look into that and see what you can find out. But yeah, I think temping is going to be where you're going to find your sweet spot for right now. And then the bigger job that's going to be coming down the line, but that change of residence is a very real possibility in the spring. All right. Well, what's that? Well, and it's kind of like COVID is not even the beginning of it because now there's the vaccine, right? And then they're starting to say, oh, well, now there's a new COVID. To be fair, there was a new COVID before, but they just tried to bury that story. So I think that they're just trying to use this to fearmonger and gaslight people more, which is really what that narrative is about. But again, even still, it's like people are traveling and there's going to be all kinds of parties. We'll find out in a couple of weeks the cesspool of disease that this country turns into, and I'm a little bit worried about that, with especially after what happened with Thanksgiving. At least in Arizona, it was bad that our cases just started skyrocketing all of a sudden. And I know it's not like you're going to get the black plague and like die and all of this horrible stuff. I mean, it does happen, but if you think about infection rates and death rates by comparison of like SARS or bird flu or or swine flu or any of the other stuff that happened historically, COVID death rates are actually pretty low. It's a little bit more than a flu, but it's not. I don't think the terror and the sensationalism that everybody is kind of thinking that it is. Well, I do want to thank you for calling into the show tonight. And so be sure to give us a call back in the near future and we'll catch up with you soon. Yep, take care and good night. Okay, all right. So we're going to get to our next caller here from area code 651. Hello, are you there? Okay, all right. Sorry, I wasn't caught up there yet. So I'm sorry. What was your name? You said your name was Chrissy. Oh, Christiana. Okay. Maplewood. All right, Maplewood. Great. And you called us recently, right? Well, not like recently, but yeah, I remember the name. So you said that was in Maple Bay? Maplewood, Minnesota at 5:02 a.m. And what day were you born? Oh, it's p.m. Great. And what time? Yes, 5:02 p.m. Uh-huh. And are you still in Maplewood today? Oh, White Bear Lake. Okay, that's right. You told me that. Okay, let me go ahead and pull this one up here for White Bear Lake. Okay. Last but not least. Perfect. All right. Now, oh no, I didn't want to lose that. Okay. So, same question to you. If I were to go to your local town, to your favorite restaurant, what are the 3 things I should order off the menu? I didn't even know that they made that. Okay. So let me take a look at a couple of things here. So, now, do you have a specific question for me? Like to go to do that job? Uh huh. Okay, yeah, let's take a look at that. So that's gonna be like here. I want to say, pull that 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it'd be about like right there. Okay, so now what shows up here? Did this position involve something that I don't want to say it was a multi-level marketing scam, but did it resemble a model that was similar to that? Did it feel like that at all? Right. I don't mean a scam, but right, yeah, it felt like a multi-level some type of thing, like where you receive a portion or a cut of, whatever was sold and then it goes up the ladder and it's tiered, that kind of thing. Was it one of those types of operations? Hmm. Yeah, because I feel like that if you were to do something like this, I think you would be successful with it, but there is going to be so much upfront expense that it's almost kind of a turnoff. That it's sort of like it would essentially feel like getting scammed. Like you put forward $200, right, and then they say, okay, well, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna get it all taken care of, and maybe you get a couple consults here and there to get your $200 back, but you really just sort of need more, or corporate sends you an email about some new like BS nonsense that you don't have on your account yet. Please pay 450, and then it's just more and more, and you're not really sort of making anything. It's just more hurting you. And I think what's really sort of damaging in this case is, that they would say, well, we're going to help you with the social aspect of it. And they always do. Like, I even looked into, like some of that, I was going to hire somebody who was going to, or some video course series that would allow me to contact people through LinkedIn to solicit astrology readings to, corporations or people. It's like My Astroworld is already working on that, and they have those connections. So I don't need to do that. But it was that type of thing where, it was just sort of like, pay me $250 and I'll show you how to write, these query letters and get out to write to these people. And then it was like you paid the $250, and if you read the reviews online of what people of the experiences people had, they paid the $250, then they had to pay the $400, then they had to pay the $900, and then they were done because it was just kind of like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So the unfortunate thing about a lot of online operations with positions and jobs these days is that they just go into that type of like, it looks good on paper and it seems like it might work, but you still have to pay so much that it's gonna like damage you. As far as like a real job is concerned. If you want to talk about those types of issues, let me take a look at a couple more things here. Oh, uh-huh. Right. Okay. Okay. Um, have you looked into part-time work at all? Uh-huh. Are you doing, no, I mean, is that a job on payroll or is that just kind of like, would that be like a 1099? Okay, no, but I'm sorry. I'm trying to say like, are you an actual are you a signatory employee or a statutory employee? Do you get are you on payroll, that kind of thing, or is it just kind of like I work these hours for these clients, so it's sort of like a self contract position? See, yeah, see where I want, like when I'm talking, and one last question. This is really sort of the clincher. Are you on, are you on SSI or DI income? Okay, yeah. See, that's the one. I used to be on that, and there's a ton of restrictions on that. Believe me, I get it. I know what that's all about. Then my dad retired, and my life changed, and that was wow. That was such a game changer. I could get a real corporate job. So, in your situation, I know what that lifestyle is like. It's kind of yeah. You do sort of have to look into a lot of the sort of at home contract positions. In this case, job wise, I want to say. Beauty consulting is not a bad idea. It's really not. I think that you have some nice strengths when it comes to things like beauty consulting. I just don't think that this was necessarily the operation for you because, again, it had to do with those upfront expenses. And then, on top of it, we're dealing with people that have limited resources. So now you're asking somebody with limited resources to pay their limited resources to allegedly try to make more money, which may or may not work. It's a coin toss in a lot of those cases. I just. I, I'm of the perspective, don't waste your money. Just kind of ride things out. Try to get in some more hours with the psychic position. I mean, I would even say, like maybe even do some other psychic work. Like if you want to get involved with Orandom, I worked for them for a little bit. Orandom is very easy to get involved with. You could go there, or you could go to, California Psychics. Owned by George Soros, and it's a terrible pay schedule, I will admit. But you could go that route. But I'm not saying corporate wise, but something that I think that you could use. Uh huh. Go ahead. Finish. Go ahead and finish. That's fine. That's all right. Uh huh. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Great. Again, the only thing is, be cautious of the people that want you to pay upfront. If they're like, oh, well, we're a new company, so you have to pay $20 to list yourself on our website. That's creepy. I don't do that. Don't get involved with stuff like that. Yeah, so all I'm trying to say is, just protect your resources, and don't let people take advantage. I think that the other psychic job, that would be another avenue for you to get into. I think that if you want to use the psychic work, you need to step a little bit more into mediumship work. Doing a little bit more to connect with spirits from the beyond and bringing in messages. I think that's going to be sort of the next tier or level of the psychic service work that you would do. So that would be your immediate homework or research, is to kind of look into what is it do I need to do spiritually to be able to access these higher realms of information. Yeah, so this is, oh crap, sorry, my microphone kind of crept up on me. Um, but this is a time when you really want to get involved with that mediumship piece. I think that that's going to be, you're going to have some nice money that'll come in there, and especially whatever mediumship clients you would have now. I would also tend to think that these are going to be clients that you'll have for a very, very long time as well. And then these will be repeat customers because they'll be impressed with the work. So try to speak more to that aspect of what you do, rather than like the tarot, or what runes or whatever other divination methodologies you might use. Just stick more to like the spiritual, no tools. This is what I do, and I can also bring in messages from people who have crossed over. That's just be like that. So those are the kind of the big standouts I want to say in your chart. And I do also see you working for companies too. Again, the companies with the spiritual work. So like what you're talking about, like the Honest Psychic Network, getting more into those types of things. I think a lot of these new operations are going to start popping up everywhere because people are just sort of fed up and pissed off by the system being so broken. And then you have places like Psychic Source that charge you $6.95 a minute to speak to an alleged expert who may or may not know what they're doing. Yeah, and then they end up doing damage. Yeah, then they end up doing damage, and people go off the deep end. And sorry, that's karma you can't fix until the next lifetime, buddy. Like, I don't do that personally. I don't know about you, but I won't do it. So, I mean, yeah, anything that deals with people's livelihoods, we always want to be especially careful with those things. Well, Christiana, it was great to hear from you again, to have you back on our show. I think it's been a while. I know I've been off for about the last month or so. And the show's about to cut out. So, yeah, for sure. It was great to have you on the show. And we hope to see you soon here on a future program. And just be sure to subscribe, like, and share. Thanks for calling. Yeah, thanks for calling. Take care. Good night. Okay, all right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and close out the show here. It looks like that. Um, yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and close this out for tonight. We are out of time. I will be back with you guys next time on definitely next Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. I will be here, and other pop up shows during the week. So thanks for having me, and I will take care and catch up with you soon. Savannah, it was great having you. Thanks a lot, and we will see you soon. Until next time. Good night.